Hey guys, thanks for coming back. And this is part two on paperwork. Um, I was going to go give you guys some examples of how people get pushed through and paperwork gets overlooked. One example, as you start trickling down into your own ventures in life, one guy went through the actual Air Force intelligence, and he was a programmer also. And this guy was, he was excited, man. I felt actually, I guess I kind of feel sad for the guy, but then again, you should know better. And he, uh, he applied for it, thought he had the right connections inside. Uh, One thing led to another, and he applied for the Air Force intelligence and was flagged for, I don't know, he didn't tell us what reason. Actually, he didn't tell us, like me and us, like our team of the higher ups. We never talked to him again. He was not allowed to come back to work. So something in his security background that he probably did after joining the Department of Justice that nobody caught on or nobody reported or he didn't report himself, that actually got him disqualified from applying to the intel for the Air Force. And when that happens, you're not allowed to come back to the DOJ for whatever reason that you got flagged from another agency. So they actually communicate on what the actual outcome of your application was. Some applicants, they don't pass a physical, and I'm talking about physically like muscle or anything like that. No, they might have some kind of arthritis, some kind of ailment that will stop them from being 100% in the new agency they apply for, more of a physical. But yet they're allowed to come back because you can't really discriminate against somebody's health in that actual aspect. So if the person is well enough to conduct his duties for the DOJ, but not for the new agency, well, that is acceptable. But something in your background, some kind of incident, some kind of arrest, you'll get flagged for it. You're not able to come back to the Department of Justice. We had another guy who, believe it or not, I actually worked with side by side, not from the same agency, but just the same port. And he was also in some, I forget, but another team that they actually supported the actual mail facility up in Oakland. And he had been working for port for a couple of years, and they needed a team to go up there and to support the actual mail facility. And they went up there and for about a month. And after a couple of weeks, an employee from the Oakland mail facility recognized him and reported to the supervisors. And again, the person did the right way. They reported to the supervisors. They did not confront this guy. That's not their job to confront anybody. They reported the actual situation. They ended up investigating, and turns out that actual support unit, that the actual individual, had been fired from the Oakland facility 2 years prior. Oh, that's some karma. That's some luck. I mean, what are the chances of you getting sent to the facility you got fired from through the postal services, right? So they did their investigation, and yeah, he lied on their application. Nobody ever followed up on the actual impact. I don't know how the paperwork got overlooked. But yeah, he got arrested for falsifying an application, and there is a charge for that. So that came back and got him fired. But at the same time, it depends how you get along with your supervisor and above. Because if you don't feel comfortable, or if you at the time cannot make it out to a facility for a month, tell somebody. All this guy had to do is just say, you know what, I can't right now. There's something in my family going on right now. I can't really leave town. he could have made something up, but he was, I don't know what he was thinking, and he went back there and he got recognized, and man, but yeah, I mean, it happens, and it sadly, but it really, he should have known better. Put it that way. And another situation would be a DUI, but yeah, can be turned into some kind of like a wet ball, some kind of different type of charge. So it does not interfere with your law enforcement's ability to carry a concealed weapon, to carry a gun, or to actually drive your police car. So uh, there tends to be a law for law enforcement to fall back on in the situation of the person getting into an accident or actually getting pulled over from the highway or the streets for being drunk. And that's another one there. And it happened. Then it did happen, but not by large numbers. But it did happen often. But uh, the how can I say, the laws were more on the actual law enforcement agents side than the actual public. And that I know it's not right, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was nice to have your get out of jail card in the back of your wallet. I'm not gonna lie to you, and maybe one day I'll talk about a couple of incidents with me. And so that's another one there. And what happened in 90, I believe it was 99, uh, there was a law that changed the criterias for domestic violence. Just like any other uh, situation with laws and who can benefit from it, who cannot benefit from it, and a lot of wives, a lot of spouses to men too, because they can get the bad end of the stick on that one. Uh, we're getting hurt, and the federal government decided to restrict, to take away the privilege for law enforcement who had domestic violence, including military, on their record by removing their service weapons. And of course, if they had any private ones, they had to turn them in too. So that right there affected a lot of, and this is throughout all the agencies, this is all law enforcement. That federal law, came into effect. And I knew a couple of agents that already were months or years or days from retirement and all that, and they actually went in front of a judge to ask for permission to continue their work there. And they went about it the right way with lawyers and everything. And the actual judge, at that time, don't forget, laws change and different amendments can be done to law. So the judge allowed certain individuals to be able to carry a service weapon while on duty. After they were off duty, they had to turn in their weapon to their station armor. And they had to forfeit all their weapons to their station armor. And from there, his lawyer can take care of the selling of it, because he can no longer sell that weapon. So his lawyers or the armorer can take possession of the weapon, and all the paperwork and the name on that serial number transferred to them. And then from there, they could actually sell or destroy the weapons, depending on what the guy wants to do with them. But they were not given to the wife or spouse. I don't know about older children, but I know the spouse indirectly, they were not allowed to actually transfer the name over there, because they were still going to live in that house, and they were not able to have access to a weapon out of the hours of their work duty. So there was that example too, and and a lot of individuals chose to ignore that law, and you had to sign a paper, a federal paper. You had to sign a paper with witnesses saying you never were actually involved in some kind of domestic violence incident. Actually convicted, I should say convicted, right? And a lot of from what I heard, a lot of military guys were embarrassed, or I don't know for what reason, and they chose to not say it, and they got an additional charge and a discharge from the actual government, from the actual service. So for someone to actually say it's not possible for you to have a record, it's not possible for you to that you got hired by this, it is possible. It is very, very possible, and that's just a couple of examples of how people can get through um, their charges or their actual through their packet by human error, basically by the end of the day by human error. Okay, that's just a couple of more examples and a couple of just different ideas for videos. Again, if you guys have any ideas, or if you guys have any stories from when you were young, when you used to visit Mexico, we'll be sure glad to hear from you guys. And in the next couple of days, I'll also bring up a story that an aunt of mine told us from her ranch down in Baja. All right. So next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thanks.